Let's stay with British politics, shall we, for now, because the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is set to address the European leaders on the migrant issue today. And several leaders from Europe are gathering in Moldova for a border security summit. But amid focused on Ukraine, Sunak, he seeks a chance to talk about the migrant issues. So the focus will be on Ukraine, but he wants to talk about the migrant issues in Europe. Now, this comes as the Labour Party has revealed figures that show the amount spent on the asylum system in the UK has increased from £550 million in 2012 to £2.1 billion in 2021. Now, according to reports, the figure is expected to increase. Last week, the UK government announced the asylum backlog has reached a new record of 173,000. The European political community in Moldova, a brainchild of French President Emmanuel Macron, was created to form a platform for unity across the European front. The EPC, as it's called, will bring together the leaders from the 27 EU member states and 19 other countries, including the UK, Ukraine and Turkey. Now, meanwhile, the Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has arrived in Moldova. He was greeted by Moldova's president. He also claimed that Ukraine is ready for NATO membership. Well, for more, our London correspondent Alex Isaac is joining us live from London. So as expected, the Ukraine issue is expected to be top of the agenda for all of the countries that are joining there. But of course, Sunak is very eager to talk about the migrant issue because people at home are expecting him to do so.
Absolutely. Of course, the war on Ukraine is a never-ending conversation until that does get finished. And it doesn't seem to be that is heading towards that direction at the moment. But Rishi Sunak, our Prime Minister, does really want to be pushing this idea that he can fix this migrant situation that has been occurring within the UK. You mentioned some really high figures there. Of course, we have heard about the amount of spending that has gone on housing the migrants that come over to the country, also with the border force as well. And what we do understand is that there is even more money that's taken out of the trade deal from the UK and our financial aid that goes overseas. We're expecting to hear some more high-rising figures, potentially £2.4 billion being spent on housing migrants and also making sure that the borders are kept safe. But many people in the UK will be asking, is that quite happening right now? Because they keep seeing more and more come across the channel on boats, but also legal asylum seekers as well. Let's not forget, it's not all about these illegal people that are coming over, but it is about those that are coming over legally. Now, what Rishi Sunak is going to be talking about in Moldova is not just about Moldova itself, but also the Balkan region. He's also working with Bulgaria and Georgia to try and smash some of these smuggling rings, which are one of the key problems when it comes to illegal migrants coming over to the UK. He wants to stop it where it's happening, and he wants to work with those Balkan countries to try and figure out how to do that going forward. But of course, he has a long way to go at the moment. There has been quite a slowdown on trying to send people back. Obviously, the Rwanda plan has not really come into fruition yet, and nothing seems to be moving forward, which he needs to do quite quickly. Rishi Sunak's one of 5 promises was that he was going to deal with this particular issue, and it doesn't feel like he's moved that far forward. Having discussions is all well and good, but there was a lot of money that went over to France to try and patrol those borders, and a lot of people within the UK, the public here, are wondering where that money has gone. Where is that overseas aid actually going, and how is it fixing the problem? Of course, again, as I keep mentioning, we have an election not coming up in the long-term future, so Labour is holding on to these figures, but they also haven't suggested themselves exactly what they would do in this situation, because whoever gets in next year in the general election, whether it's a continued Conservative party or a new type of party, they will need to fix this problem too. It's not going to get sorted overnight, and moving forward with these Balkan countries, smashing smuggling rings is one of the steps, but it will be seeing how it comes together. Words are great, but it does need to be put into action.
Yeah, quite right. Thank you so much. And as we say, the amount spent on the asylum system in the UK is now spiralling into the billions. And we've got that meeting in Moldova with the UK and EU members, as well as Ukraine and Turkey as well. Alex Isaac in London, thank you so much.